Because it pulls them up a little bit.
Right.
You know, and it just...
Do you have braces?
Clip without a quip.
Game over. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Clips and Quips. I'm Boaz Frankel. Now, as you can see, I'm under a desk because it's the annual earthquake drill here at the Clips and Quips offices. So I'm down here along with some rations, just to be safe, you know. Now, on today's show, I got a chance to talk to two of the stars from the new film. I just put up three, but actually two of the stars from the new film, We Are Marshall, Matthew McConaughey and Matthew Fox. Now, We Are Marshall is the story of the 1970 Marshall football team, who, on their flight back from a game, the plane crashes and almost the whole team, as well as their coaching crew and a lot of townspeople from Huntington, West Virginia, died. And then the movie is about trying to rebuild that team the next year. Now, Matthew McConaughey plays Jack Langle, who's the new coach they bring in to coach the team. And my interview with him was sort of interesting. Let me set the scene for you. Usually when you walk into a junket interview, there are two chairs facing each other, one for me and one for the person I'm interviewing. In this case, there's just one chair, and it was facing this backdrop of a locker room. Anyways, there were three cameras in this room. Let me explain this for you. Now, the first camera was just on Matthew McConaughey, and it was mounted on a jib, which is sort of like a camera crane, and it would just follow him as he walked in front of the locker backdrop. Now, the second camera was a wider shot. You could see my back, along with Matthew pacing in front of the locker room backdrop. And my favorite one is probably the third camera. I like to call that the crotch shot, because you basically look at Matthew McConaughey's butt and crotch and my face. So without further ado, here's that interview with Matthew McConaughey. So you actually spent time with Jack Langle, I mean, the man who you're playing in this film. What was it like during the first time you met him?
Well, I called him on the phone first, and we had a long conversation, and then I got a lot of audio tapes of the way he coached and things and ideas that he had. The challenge with that, which was a fun challenge, was talking to a man in 2005 about what he was trying to do in 1971.
Wow.
Well, that's sort of in hindsight.
Right.
So to take that, then go, well, how did he react to that in the first person?
Sure.
Live, which was my job to go emulate as the actor. When
you talked to the real Jack Langle, did he ever, you know, question anything you did or like give you any feedback?
No, I mean, we got a lot of. Once we started filming, I mean, he was there on set. Once we started filming, I mean, he said something the very first day in the first scene. He came up and he goes, "Good job. That's exactly how a coach would do it."
Wow.
That's all he really said.
That must have felt pretty good.
Well, it just, we knew we were flying at that point.
Right.
Even from the first day, we were off and flying. And it could have been an odd experience having the man you're portraying there on set.
Yeah, totally.
But it wasn't. It really wasn't.
And then you got to do some honorary coaching, like on Real Marshall games.
Yes. Yes, we did.
Wow. Did you really get to sort of give any input?
I think my biggest input from the last game, if I had to have any input from the last game against Central Florida when we were there, and I wasn't an honorary coach, I was just on the sideline, was it was their first televised game in a while. And the team was really treed and really pumped up, okay? But there's a lot of, when you're on TV, there's a lot of TV timeouts.
Huh.
Okay? So there's a lot of, much more stop, start, stop, start, stop, start.
I see.
So the team would be still jacked up and they may have to sit there for 3 minutes.
Right.
And if anything, I would go back and say, televised games, remember guys, there's going to be a timeout. I'm going to let you know how long it is. Save your energy. But 10, 15 seconds before it's time to come back, get treed up. But you could see the kids almost getting tired out because they never knew how long to relax between things. So there was a thing about pacing the game then.
Man, well, thanks a lot for chatting. Can I count with that handshake and high five?
Have a good one, man.
I also got a chance to talk to one of the film's other stars, Matthew Fox, who plays Red Dawson, the assistant coach for the Marshall football team. Now, you probably recognize Matthew Fox from Lost. He plays Jack, and I think I got some good information out of him about what's going to happen when Lost returns in February. Take a look. First, what did you know before you got involved with this project about, the 1970 Marshall football team?
I didn't know anything. I didn't find out about the event until I read the script. That's how I found out about it for the first time, and then I met McGee, and that meeting went really, really well, and I think I committed to him the very next day, and I don't do that I do that very rarely. I mean, that quickly. That was a quick turnaround. I just felt like, I'm in. I remember telling him I'm in.
So that
like,
speaks for the project already.
Yeah, it was fired
And
up.
then you play, somebody who's still alive, Red Dawson,
Mm-hmm.
who you actually, spent some time with. Do you remember that first meeting with him? What was going on in your mind?
I remember exactly. There was some anxiety in meeting him. I mean,
Right.
He flew to Hawaii. I'd asked him to do that,
Oh, wow.
But he's really, really adverse to flying and hadn't really flown for
Whoa.
35 years because of the event. And
Wow.
I asked him to do that because I couldn't leave the island. I would have much rather gone to Huntington. But I was working on Lost at the time and couldn't. And so I was surprised that he was willing to do it. And then, anytime you have that kind of actor playing a real person in a true story dynamic, I think that it's it has the potential to be awkward and to not work that well.
Right.
And so, there was always the possibility that, he and I were going to meet that Monday morning. I remember he got in on Sunday night, we met Monday morning, and that we wouldn't hit it off. But we did, and I think it was the best possible scenario of that relationship that you could hope for, and we've become really good friends, and the experience of going through this movie together has been great.
Wow. What was the reception like, in terms of the townspeople in Huntington?
It was great. I hear and I totally understand that there was a lot of trepidation and sort of suspicion about this big Warner Brothers movie being made about an event that is such a big part of that community. But by the time I got to that first day of shooting, and I was on the first day of shooting of the film in Huntington, it felt like they were very, very supportive.
And super quickly, I'm sure everybody's been trying to, pull Lost information out of you. Could you, tell us some stuff that's not going to happen in February? I heard, maybe Kate and the polar bear are going to get together, have a half man, half bear child.
That's not going to happen.
Okay, deal. Cool, thanks a lot. We Are Marshall will be out in theaters very soon. If you have any questions, comments for me, please shoot me an email at boaz@clipsquips.com. Also, make sure to check out our new Clips and Quips blog. It's got some fun information, and you can comment and ask any more questions if you've got them. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. We'll be back with Ben Stiller, Ricky Gervais, and the cast of Night at the Museum. See you then. Crap, I think I forgot a can opener.